Like we're riding up the roller coaster here. Three, two, on day. All right, here we go. I'm going to make sure I turn off the volume here. Three, two, one. Awesome, we're live. All right, what's up, y'all? It's Brandon David here, live from Miami Beach. It's been a long time, long journey, like 2 months, conference to conference, city to city, but really getting to go deep in each city, from Cleveland to Colorado to Austin, Texas, during South by and beyond, to being in town during NFT NYC with some of these amazing people you see on the screen, and then here in Miami again during Miami Tech Week, finishing up Miami Tech Week from last week and getting ready for Consensus. So it is a marathon, and these are some marathon runners and championship flyers on the call here tonight. And so we're going to get right into it. Welcome to the Music Tech Super Connect, an invite-only collaborative conversation with some of the greatest movers and shakers from the music business, entertainment business, law to marketing, and so much more. Phenomenal people on the call. We have Zach, 23K from Nashville, Tennessee. Sub Zach. We have Matt Matlack, Bahamian Hotcakes, rescuing stray dogs in the Bahamas, Sea Turtle Creative. We have Andrew Schiffman with Legend.io, music business veteran, Mark Cianci, blockchain attorney, and solid friend in the Web3 space and beyond. And we have Vershawn in the mix, phenomenal person in the music business, artist, so much more. I can't think of a better person to help lead this conversation. So we're going to start it off with Will T, Kingfisher's Corner, talking about the access age and having a cool conversation. And then we'll go into the breakout rooms. So Will T, take it away.
Thank you for that warm introduction, Brandon. I do appreciate you. So what is the access age? Let's first try and define that for the viewing audience. So when I first started thinking about this very specific time in our life, and the amount of access we have and the amount of connectivity that we have to each other, right? I mean, that's nothing new. That's been something that's been developing for the last 30 years. But now when we look at our connectivity to blockchain technology, and this is really where the moniker comes from, is every single interaction with blockchain is either access to something, to someone, or to somewhere, right? So when we think about it from the macro, big picture perspective, I guess we could just go round robin, starting with Zach. What does that mean to you to be involved in this industry at this point in time?
I think it's very interesting. We're seeing a lot of shifts between people's opinions on what they're seeing and what they're saying for like what's been going on the past couple of years, and seeing what's going on now, especially with people that are in it like us. We see the potential for what's happening, but the outside people that aren't seeing it, the general public, is really just seeing a different side of things. But the conventions we've been to, the panels, we're definitely seeing that this is not actually going to be the case. And no one wants bragging rights really much anymore. They want use cases. They want things that can show that if I'm going to be engaging in something, I get something in return. So how do we do that? Being in an industry like this that's always continuously moving, not only do we have to compete and develop our skills here, but now we're developing our skills in another layer. AI is huge, and that is a discussion that is so wild at this moment. So it's just becoming, how do we keep up with all of this? How do we adapt? And then, of course, as we're doing this over the next few years, it'll smooth itself out because we'll get better at it. And then everyone else will start seeing that it's going to be smoother ride as well. So we're really being the pioneers on an age like in something like this, for sure.
Awesome. I love it. Matt Matlack. same question posed to you. What does it mean to you at this particular point in time in your life of being connected to blockchain technology? And even more importantly, all the amazing relationships you made along the way.
Well, that last part, is just, I think for me, that's the thing about anything that we're doing as humans is that connectivity to other people. And, right now we are in such a small niche that, if you know someone in Web3, you probably know someone that they know in Web3, And so I love that, going to New York City and running into random people that, off the internet that you didn't know was going to be there. So that kind of thing, I've always just loved being kind of on the cutting edge of whatever technology is going on. I'm old enough to remember when, Napster was a bad thing. I used to trade MP3s on Merck. So those IRC channels way back in the day. So, I always loved that kind of stuff. And so I'm just attracted to what's happening with Web3. But the thing for me that beyond community that I'm so bullish on with this is just the ability for authenticity to be transparent. Here it is. I was in a band for over 30 years and I can count on one hand the number of royalty checks that we saw, and we got commercial radio airplay, but we didn't see a lot from that. And those checks were usually cost more to mail to us than was written on the check. So, and so I just love this, what we're doing and what I see and where I see it going. And someone recently asked me, it's like, well, is it, as a musician, like, is it wise to get in now? Like, should I get in early or should I wait? And, I guess that's a good question. I think you've got to come in. I think it's better to come in early, and you have to have fortitude. Like you got to have thick skin. You got to have a big brain. You got to be willing to unlearn. You got to be willing to take some risks, but be really smart about it and surround yourself with people that are like on this call right now that can help you navigate all of those hurdles and all that stuff to make things work. So I guess that's my take on being involved in Web3 right now.
Awesome. Mark, I know you may have to drop at any moment, so let's come over to you, good sir. Mark Stianci, same question posed to you.
Yeah, it's hard to boil it down into the couple minutes I have, but I would say the freedom and the promise that the technology enables. I think I've heard it said that in an economy pre-blockchain, everyone did what they had to do. In an economy post-blockchain, and we're right now in that transition period, but in an economy post-blockchain, everybody does what they're best at. And by doing what they're best at, it maximizes the ability for each person in humanity to be contributing. And when everyone is doing that at a communal level, all in harmony and all in sync, the promise is just enormous. Is it going to solve all problems? Of course not. We're not promising heaven on earth. But when I see the combination of use cases which is incredible in its own right, and then you mirror that up, you merge that with the people that are behind the use cases. And I agree, these in-person, the virtual meetups are a huge component of that. It makes me really, really proud to be part of this movement.
Awesome. Vershawn, coming back around to you, good sir. What does it mean to you to be here and active and participating with blockchain technology?
To me, it feels like an opportunity. And when you have opportunities, that's great. It's like we've seen it, growing up, and I'm sure we've all taken math class before, where there's that bell curve where, there's the early adopters, the people who hop in a little bit sooner. And then when it starts to take off, that's when everybody starts to, become a part of whatever movement's happening, whether it's the gold rush in California or joining the internet revolution in the early 2000s, or, being a part of Web3 now. If there's nothing to gain immediately from joining the space, it's necessary to have the early education on it, and all of the roadblocks that we're hitting now, and the difficulties of making transactions, and having that context of, you know, how difficult it was to get Ethereum in your wallet and then try to purchase something on Polygon with that Ethereum. We're going to have that context, and give it a few years, it might just turn into download this app, and now you have the ability to operate on any of the blockchains, and you're just a regular person who just downloaded an app. So having this context and having access to so many different perspectives that are all focused on this general topic and tech that we're starting to embrace, I think being early helps. It might not mean that you're going to find all of the gold, but being there will allow us to have the context to guide people a little bit faster and help them dodge the roadblocks that we faced along the way. So like Matt said earlier, you know, taking risks, being in here early, it helps. And you know, we wish everyone the best, but we have a great opportunity here.
Yeah, no doubt. I want to focus in on one thing real quick and hone in on what you said. I mean, you spoke about the gold rush, right? In this country, the United States, in the mid 1800s, and it wasn't the miners that so much that were the beneficiaries of that movement, right? It was more the people selling the pickaxes and the shovels. So that's the way I like to think of it, that we're selling pickaxes and shovels aside this technology. But also, you know, and I'm gonna date myself here a little bit, but I don't mind. I'm a Gen Xer, so I like to say that I'm a child of the 70s and a product of the 80s, right? And so when the internet first came online, you know, in the mid 90s, I was neither in a position nor I had interest, but I did not have the position, the access to opportunities or to relationships or to the sources that could connect me to that. And so for me, it's about capitalizing on what was at one time in my life a missed opportunity. So I want to applaud you and thank you for that, because what you said there resonated very deeply with me. Okay, Andrew Schiffman, you're up on the stage. It's your turn now. What does it mean to you to be connected at this point in time in your life, sir?
Well, I think when you look at the evolution of music and tech, it's pretty inevitable we are where we are now, right? When I think back about when you had a Walkman or a disc player and you could take 10 songs or, you know, in your pocket, you weren't thinking about, oh, I wish someone would create an MP3 player. That was what you had. And then when the MP3 player came and the iPod, you're like, all right, now this makes sense. I can have thousands of songs. But you weren't thinking about, oh, I wish there was a Spotify kind of app so I could stream all of this music for a subscription, right? Then that came about and you're like, oh, that makes sense. So now with where we are now, to me, it makes sense, right? We are where we are. You know, we have to be patient and build and launch and educate and make the use cases the right way. But, you know, in my mind, we are where we're supposed to be. Maybe the tech is a few years early, or the amount that we can do is a little early for mass adoption. But, you know, someone in my position, it's really about creating these experiences and these easy Web 2 centric onboarding methods that are just an easy use case and a seamless interaction with this tech. You know, the other side of your question, community, you know, I've always lived and breathed my career. So I seem to work with my friends. And when I was at NFT NYC, seeing these people year after year, this time they really gave me that sense of these are my friends. It's even more than a, community, right? We're interacting weekly, we're seeing each other. So I'm excited for what we've built and where we're going, and do the same thing next week. Well, this week in Austin. So yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. No, I mean, it's a beautiful thing, right? What's happening here. I can't emphasize it enough, like how critically important it is, because a lot of things that society have led us down the path to believe we're the right path. Those can be course corrected now that we know the true thing. So, Brandon, all is well here on the leading edge of the access age. And let's shift it back over to you, my good friend. Brandon?
Yep, I'm here. Yo, Will T, way to rock it. What a phenomenal conversation, y'all. And I'm seeing in the room we have some amazing movers and shakers from the private sector, public sector, artists, producers. And what better way to go from the Access Age panel discussion into a breakout room? Shout out Benny Pacala, Krypton Labs, Web3 Collective. He really helped pave the way to help me see we can rock these Zoom meetings and go into these breakout rooms. So we just want to give a shout out to Future Tech Miami happy hour happening tomorrow in Wynwood. If you are in South Florida, come on out to Wynwood, 6:30 to 9:30 tomorrow evening. We'll be posting that link in a little bit. But just gear up now, y'all. We got Austin, Texas on the call. We got Nick Caceres from Step 3. Amazing marketing platform. So y'all aren't going to want to miss. If you get in a room with him, you're not going to want to miss hearing his intro. So a little bit of protocol. And here I'm going to bring it. Give me 1 second. Okay. Just a little bit of protocol, y'all, is keep your intros super short. If you can do 15 to 20 seconds, I seen Matt Lack do it in less on the 17th floor in New York City for our Music Tech Media meetup, and he rocked it. So, and everybody hit it out the park. It was short, sweet, and get into the topic, which is welcome to the access age. Like my friend Air Jordan said, he said, B, I'm not after the money. I'm after the access. And there's people on this call. And what he's really after, because I know him, is impact. The people on this call is about impact. So we'll go ahead in the breakout rooms. Y'all ready to count it down? Who's got the counter? We go 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to the Zoom breakout rooms. Here we go. 3. Rondonde. Awesome, y'all. Hey, if you're still watching this live on YouTube, I'm wearing a hat, but I got a haircut at the Spot Barber Shop. Amazing joint in all through Miami. But they're like, when Ice Cube goes to this barber shop, he melts because he's just so full of joy. You never know who you're going to see there, and you never know who you're going to see on these calls. I'm going to go ahead and join one of these rooms here in a minute. But just want to share, we have something special coming up. It's a Social Capital Accelerator, Social Capital cohort to help you build your social equity, your social capital. What does that mean? It means rich relationships. It means for you to have your transactions flow out of genuine relationships with people you've already served and been in some kind of flow with, even if it's because the relationship was accelerated because you made a good friend and that's their good friend. So we can get more into that on a call. We'll be talking more about that later, but the screen's going to probably go blank to you because I'm joining a room. I'm going to check out the action. God bless, much success, keep it moving, and we'll see you on the other side. Hey, just a quick report from one of the rooms. We have Joe Van Jerry from DigiTracks connecting with Nick Caceres from Step 3. Andrew Shipman is in that room also, just talking about some loyalty, the loyalty program that Nick represents. It's the future. So I'm going to jump in another room here. And, I'll do my best to report it, but it'd be awesome if you were here to see rock to another breakout room. I'm going to join. I talked about step 3. I'm going to join room 3. Yeah, room 3 was the Music City room. A whole bunch of Nashville in that room, movers and shakers, discussions about something really cool being planned for the Soho House, and so much more. Really cool things talked about in that room. You just would have had to be there, but I'm going to do my best to report it to you right now. So I'm going to hop in the next room that I didn't get to hit, room 2. And how about you? Where you at? Where are you at? You're probably on YouTube. Okay. Join us next time.
Cool. Andrew, I can't hear you.
Yeah, indeed. I said, is
Gotcha.
this back at the waiting room?
Oh, yeah. What is this? This is pretty cool. He just jumps you into rooms. How long have you been with Legends?
Oh, just since January.
It's so fast moving.
Yeah.
It's moving so
Yeah.
fast.
So we'll see what happens with that
Yeah.
platform.
Yeah, I'm looking for legacy artists right now to work with as well. That's been real important.
Right, right.
Uh,
Awesome, guys. We're coming out of some really cool breakout rooms. I was able to get get in the action a little bit and just kind of watch each room and then report it actually on the main room here. So with that being said, I mean, it was awesome. We had a Nashville room with a little LA sprinkled in, some really cool conversation in there. Really listening to Matt Lack lead, lead the room he was in, just phenomenal. You could tell he's got radio host in his bones. It's not just part of his past, it's part of his future and his now. Honored to have Yanka, just sharing some of his wisdom and humility. Huge part of the public and private sector integration in Miami-Dade, really setting and helping set the standard for the world. Because the world's not just watching what's happening in Miami, they're coming to Miami, whether it's for a weekend, for a conference, or they just moved here. And Veronica, just honor, she is doing an amazing job. She's actually here, not just because she's part of the music tech community, but because she's looking out for another, an artist friend of hers, and just finding some ways to empower him, and in more ways than one. So Veronica, is just such an honor. People like you, Yanka, and other movers and shakers in the Miami scene is what's really helped pave the way for there to be open conversations like this, because it's solid people from the business sector that are using their right minds, their creative brain, and saying, no, this is what needs to happen for the next generation. No, this is what we need to be open to and open for. So we honor you. And with that being said, we're going to jump right into a company spotlight. Andrew Schiffman, one of the great music business development guys from MTV, all the way up to the Web3 pioneering, from Rally to Yellowheart to now at Legend.io, who's got partnerships with Polygon and Warner, a trusted person in this space. And we have another legend, Joe Van Jerry. He has been in the music business for decades, even though he only looks like he's 57, right? 55, Joe? 53, 52, 48.
Yeah, I'll write that. I'll write that right now.
He's getting youthful as he goes and grows. And he's got some cool front end, stuff for producers with music AI. It's really not just artist. It's really like artist intelligence, music intelligence, authentic intelligence. And he's covering multiple angles on this whole music AI. So I just want to have a genuine conversation. We've been wanting to get these guys connected anyway. They missed each other briefly in New York. So we said, no, we ain't missing them on the Music Tech Super Connect. So Andrew Schiffman, I want you to kind of lead the way with Joe. Joe, real briefly too, if you just want to kind of set the tone as well. And let's have a cool conversation, and we'll probably stack it with people who have some questions. And then we'll go into the breakout rooms again. So Andrew, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Brandon. Sorry I missed you, Joe, in New York. But yeah, I mean, the main topic of this, hour, we were talking about access, and I've heard access in a lot of different drops. At Legend, we have an access pass. It basically allows a community to come into a drop for discounts, for the ability to be whitelisted, but for the artist, it almost gives you that guarantee of knowing who's gearing up to come into your collection, and really gives you a lot of clues and ideas of how that collection might be selling. There was another drop I heard today where they have a mint pass for almost the same thing. So, as we're bridging into Web 2 over to Web 3, I think having these terms that you can comprehend and you can visualize, an access pass. So I think that really helps with the onboarding. So, Joe, do you have any kind of Web 2 terminology or strategies in how you're kind of, working in Web 3?
Yeah. and that is our first strategy is we've got an artificial intelligence platform. I've been working in AI for the past 6 years. We hold 7 patents in what's called data block analysis and composition. And we've created a plugin for DAWs, for digital audio workstations. And it was too complicated, like literally, because in Chat GPT, you use a prompt, right? You just basic English and it'll create something. And in music, we have our own language. It's called music theory. So if you have a music background, you can talk to it, beats per minute, blah, blah, blah. So it's a Web 2 strategy, this plugin. And we were looking at, 100,000 songs a day going up on Spotify. That's 3 million songs a month going up onto the different streaming platforms. And like, we want to give access to your favorite artist. I can't talk about them, but we've got about a half dozen, some major Twitch artists that are blowing up that get some pretty decent traffic. And we're going to do a haute couture type launch with our product where we create a digital twin. So I can take like the essence of your writing style and then write music that sounds like you with your permission, like your name, your image, likeness, so forth. We created something called a motif agreement because what's happening in AI in Web 2 right now is like in music, you've got the publishing and you've got sound recordings, and that's your two drivers in the way of copyright. Okay. And then there's a third overarching called performing rights organization. That would be BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, and so forth. So there's 3 places where you make money in music in Web 2. And then of course, your sound recordings become vinyl, become now NFTs and when I first heard utility NFT, I was like, shit, man, I want to be in on utility NFT because I think like session files, that's how I'm thinking. I'm like, the first time I heard MP3, I honestly thought it was going to be all like stems. I didn't think it was just going to be a flat file stereo. I honestly thought I could start screwing with it and start taking bass lines out and mixing and matching. And like the way I look at it is it's like Legos, and everything you could get, you can start mixing and matching. The only way I can track this stuff is on a blockchain. It's just the only way I'd be able to track the royalties on this. And then, my God, I mean, I run labels, and my wife and I'm really blessed. I get to work with my wife, and I've been working with her for most of my life, and we run a business together. And she runs our day-to-day production business. And the biggest pain in her life is royalty reporting quarterly, like the quarterly royalty reporting. Then to be able to have that in a smart contract, to take that Web 2 thing, that royalty reporting that happened quarterly, and then like, and she's honest to the point where she can't sleep about it, making sure everybody gets paid. It's like, wow, take that off the plate, like get rid of that, like don't stop worrying about that.
No, this is definitely tech that can, alleviate a lot of those tedious tasks that have to be done. But I just want to go back to your digital twin. I know, I was in NFT ticketing for a while, and there were Web 2 ticketing platforms like, Ticketmaster was issuing a digital twin. Basically, buy your ticket as you always will, then they'll email you an NFT, memorabilia ticket that is linked to your physical. So
yeah, I borrowed the term, and when I say, when I'm saying digital twin, I'm saying I'm going to take you, clone you. I'm going to take your soul, your spirit, what makes you, what makes you right like you.
Right. It's more of a digital clone.
It's digital clone, yeah.
Right.
And now I'm able to, and now your super fans are going to be able to collaborate with you. Like I run studios in Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah. And I have 5 breakout rooms. I have 5 mixed down suites, 5 booths for guys to go in, and guys. And when I say guys, I'm from Jersey. I mean guys, gals. I mean everybody. These, them, those. I mean everything. So the term guy is omni everything. So my producers, they take in artists at night. So I give all the young producers, the rooms are yours, make some extra money at night. And I've been watching the behavior of what, everybody that comes in now for the past 10 years into my studios. And it's just wonderful to watch them. And then they go and then they want to collaborate with their favorite artist. And they can't because there's nothing for them to collaborate with. And, I watch some of the, they'll go and buy stuff off of BeatStars, or they'll go get loops from Splice and put it together, but they don't get to collaborate with their artist. But now with artificial intelligence, I can work out something with an artist and I can say, hey, it won't infringe on any of your other work. It'll be all new IP. It'll be new publishing for you. It'll be new master recordings for you. And there's no sweat. And now your fans are going to get to engage with you, and we're going to do limited editions. So we've got a few.
That's, as long as you get the artist consent. There's been a lot of AI, with Drake and The Weeknd. That was obviously not done with their part.
No, and
the band Oasis, someone made
a
comeback album from there. So as long as you have consent, I think that can definitely work.
Ethical AI, and like even like in visual AI, we're not a deep learning system. We're an evolutionary algorithm. We wrote our own platform. We've been working on it for 14 years, blah, blah, blah. But like on an NLP or a deep learning, you're going to go and get the most favorable math. I mean, the most favorable math's going to come, because it's all math, right? At the end of the day, it's all math. So it's going to come, and I'm a maths person. So it's all going to come back maths, and the best math's going to win. And those patterns, they're probably, in music, it's a big problem because they're probably going to infringe. So the first thing we did was we created a system by which we can take music down to a second in second slices, and then be able to compare. In our database, we have about 20 million songs, and we can compare all 20 million songs to see if you're infringing on anyone else's work. And everything we have is in a form called MIDI, and then we broke down the MIDI, so it's just notes for the first time in history. And I want to bring this to universities. We want to give it to universities, and we'll be launching that in the fall. It was an interface problem, but I taking that Web 2 to Web 3. My background, we did the first interfaces for disc jockeys. It was called PC DJ. We launched that in '97, and we were lucky. I mean, we worked with Tommy Boy Records early on. We worked with Def Jam. So we worked with a lot of labels. Like I worked with Fabulous, Missy Elliott. We enhanced CDs.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to get ready to break out, but I think, this space is definitely, can learn from, veterans like ourselves that do have a lot of the music history. So cool, man.
Yeah, man.
Brandon, let's
as we're getting ready for the breakouts, CL, if you're able to come on, CL, Digitrax, and DigiWax, they've known each other for a while. Oh, yeah. And pretty sure Andrew as well. CL, if you're able to come, CL would love to have you in the mix if you're able to come on.
No doubt. Hey, peace, everybody.
CL.
What's happening, Joe?
Feeling better, man.
Good for you, man. We missed you on NFT NYC, but it's all love. It's all love.
All right. Good. Good.
No, well, first of all, I thank you, Brandon, for always bringing me on. Shout out to you, Andrew, for what you've done and what you're doing. I obviously am a big supporter of what Web3 can do for art and for artists, especially from the music side. And all of these different solutions, are to help artists keep their IP and monetize it in a better way and monetize it with fans. And these are like things that we keep on saying and stating, because as common sense as it may be to us, to the mass public, and even just the common music people, majority of them have still not grasped these concepts. I'm working with, we all have a heavy background, and it's a constant education. But I feel like this is going to be the year, even though we're almost halfway through it. This will be the year that you're going to see some of these big stories break. And I'm excited to try to help play a part in that by helping create solutions using the tools that you guys have created. and helping to guide artists. So that's what DigiWax has been doing. Spinworld is the platform that we're using to do it. And it's really just a new distribution system that uses these different systems to help artists monetize better. But, you know, I'm here for partnerships. I'm here to learn. I'm here to support and sort of just be that rallying horn as everybody keeps on to, you know, sharing their thoughts, ideas, and concepts when it comes to Web3. So, you know, I'm going to keep it brief. Shout out to NFT NYC. It was not as big. It was not as big as the other years, but there was some great information in there. And these tools range from, I mean, obviously Immutable was the big sponsor and partner, and what you're able to do with them and licensing artists like this into their games and doing all of that stuff, all the way to new companies that had excellent solutions for storage and laws finally coming towards the NFT space and being able to govern some of that. It was awesome for all of that and all of the info that was going back and forth. So again, yeah, let's keep on building. And thanks, Brandon.
Yes, sir. Well,
Awesome.
with that
ACL.
being- Oh, go ahead.
ACL, real fast. Commissioner Gordon, Mo3, we're going to pick up a record, an unfinished record, and do it with the AI. I want to get with you on it.
Let's go, man. One of the concepts that I created, just for so people know, is the meta mixtape, which is
Great
a
idea.
fractionalized mixtape, and that's one of the things Joe and I is gonna do an AI version of. But finally, people be able to say, hey, back in the day, let's just take a DJ Clue or Kid Capri. When they made a mixtape, they would get all these new records, put them together, and then they would make copies and sell them, and pretty much make all the money. And yes, they promoted the heck out of the music, so these artists did get a benefit. But for the first time, now you can have fractional. Where 30 artists on a record, if everybody gets 2%, 3%, that's a lot. If it can go to a rally or to a sound and sell, and now you have those users or those community members and be able to reward them in different ways for owning that mixtape. But anyway, that's what we do: come up with solutions and try to make Web3 make sense to the common artists. Shout out to we're working with Consequence, Conway, the Machine, Fabulous, and Mims, and so on and so forth. But that's it.
How was Coachella?
Coachella was great. That's the other side of it. It's the culture, right? So the culture hasn't caught up with this technology yet. I think AI has jumped past a lot of stuff because it's a very useful tool for the everyday person. But there's so much room, man. Again, man, DJ Cassidy and Static Selector and all the artists that were out there, man. These are the conversations I was having. And the beautiful thing is that everybody's open to it. They just don't know nothing about it.
Yeah. It's under a bushel. We just got to get the light on top of the bushel. People got to hear about it. They got to know about it. I mean, even like with NFTs, like, you explain it to people, and musicians, they scratch their head and you go, look, you'll make more money selling 100 NFTs to your friends than you will ever make streaming. It's just
Joe, I shot you a question about NFTs on your chat.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Now that you mentioned NFTs.
Cool. I didn't see it. Okay.
So
I will say this.
Hit me up.
Can you sell copyrights of one song broken into NFTs?
Yeah, that's what we want to do. I mean, that would be the game plan, right? And then to be able to track it all on the blockchain. So if, like, say, Kid Capri, Run DMC, Earth, Wind and Fire, Led Zeppelin, and I go and get all these different
That
buildings.
makes more sense than selling like paints NFTs. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes
I mean,
sense for a song. Yeah.
to me, it made total logical sense. And like my patents are in data block. So like, I was like, wow, data block, blockchain. Okay, it kind of makes sense. All right, yeah, track everything. Oh yeah. It was like, think Legos, right? Like when you think modern music, think Legos. I mean, everything's a loop. And I mean, it's always been though. It's not just modern music. Everything has been what we call the motif. Like everything's a little bits and pieces of intellectual property that are sliced up, and then you reconstitute them to create something new. It's just, you keep mixing them around to make new things. I mean, there's 12 notes.
Yeah, well, you don't have that for classical music, but I can't think of any artist right now that wouldn't love to sell their copyrights into NFTs. I don't know.
100%. Yeah, would love to. I mean, brilliant idea. I mean, because now,
Just don't use NFTs or blockchain in any conversation.
Yeah,
And
no, you can't. You know, everyone gets terrified because of all the charlatans. I mean, you know, the charlatans have been cleaned out. I mean, it's weird because for me now, all of a sudden I got all the charlatans in AI. Now everybody and their sister is an AI expert. And I'm like, wow, that happened fast. You know, I've been at this for the past 6 years. And I mean, you know, and it's a lot of math. I mean, an incredible amount of math. I mean, and then processes on how to, you know, how do you get it to someone to communicate to it, especially with music? I mean, even like painting, we've been messing, one of our crew, Charles Cording, has been messing with DALL-E a lot, and it's just been amazing, like amazing stuff going on with that type of, but with music now, like even like the Ghost X doing the Drake and the Oasis. I mean, that was, the music wasn't AI. The vocals were only AI. The music was human created. The music wasn't. The music was, so the music was pretty banging. I mean, I listened to that Drake song, it was pretty damn good. But the vocals were, and then we work with a few synthesizers that recreate voices now. But in America, there's a law that forbids you to use someone's style, vocal style, to sound like it. And like the laws in China, because I was originally in China. I was in 2017, 2018, 2019. I was in China. There's a music city there called Chengdu, and China leads the world in AI right now. Like we're far ahead of everybody else. And like stuff that's going on there is amazing. But everyone seems to hate them right now. So, but until the pandemic, we were there, and we came back to the States and working this out. In China, the law is if it's unique and it's created with AI, then it's unique. If it's not unique and it's a copy of something else, then it's a copy of something else. And I mean, I think that's the most simple way to look at creativity and music and everything, is if it's unique, it's unique. If it's not unique, well, then it's a copy of something else. Then you don't have something unique. But I'm talking.
I think that was the worst law ever passed, which I call the Robin Thicke law, which to me was made. That law was passed by people who are not in music, and the reason why I'm against it is because for a few reasons. One, inspiration is a part of being great. I get inspired by Earth, Wind, and Fire. I might get inspired by Biggie Smalls, freaking Stevie Wonder or whoever, Rolling Stone. That's inspiration. And when somebody makes a song, as long as it's original, I don't think it's a bite, personally. And I think that sort of messed up a lot of stuff. And at the same time, you cannot deny how people feel about something. Covers were done from Motown artists to artists on Stax Records, to even artists on Sound of Philadelphia. Covers are a part of culture to me. And even though AI, I think, does go a little step too far, but the people reacted to that, the Drake and Weeknd song, with over 1 million views within 48 hours. So I think AI radio is going to come. I think that
Grimes threw it down today. Grimes came out and she said, Look, anybody that does an AI song with my voice and it's a hit, I'll split it 50-50 with you. She
That's
came
where it's
out
gonna
on
go.
Twitter. That's where it's
Right,
at.
Matt Lag, ring the bell. Jai T's ringing the bell, and we're throwing it down right now. We're calling it for that. This session right here, music.
What a great
AI. We're getting
convo.
ready
That's
for a
beautiful.
power breakout session, y'all. Matt Lag just held it up. It's time to shut this part of the convo. It's actually a to be continued, y'all. So we're going to take this into the breakout sessions, and we're going to pivot a little bit into Matt Lack. I saw him hit it on the first breakout session. He said to Brian Webster from Collaborats, "What do you need right now? How can we help you?" That's what this session is about when you go into the breakout room. It's how can we help you? If you're a co-host, you know you're a co-host, take the lead, set it up, and let's knock this thing out of the park and get some wins for everybody in the rooms. With that being said, also Collaborats, and we got Brian Webster and I believe Nick Caceres in the same room. That's a power connection right there. Andrew Schiffman, with we got him in a good room as well. Everybody's is in each of the rooms that they're in. I don't believe it's by coincidence. So here we go. You guys ready? Count it down. 3, 2, 1. Let's rock it. What can we do for you? Awesome. You can see that the conversation with the music AI topic is just, it could go on for hours and hours and hours. And there's clubhouse rooms, Twitter spaces, podcasts that literally do go on hours after hours. But these are some of the people working out the kinks, seeing the real use cases, helping put some guardrails on this thing. Some of those people are in these calls and in that room, are in the rooms, breakout rooms right now. So if you'd like to be in on the next one, just reach out. We'll be having another one coming up, I believe, next month. We also have a social capital cohort coming up to help you connect, collaborate, and build your community. Hone in on your vision. And I'm getting ready to go into one of these breakout rooms, check out the action. We got Joe Van Jerry from DigiTracks breaking it down, continuing the conversation with CL from DigiWax, great connector, DJ, paving the way for artists, older and younger, to get into this space. So I'm going to go check out another room here. All right, we got Brian Webster, Nick Caceres, John Blackwell, and more. All right. Andrew Shipman is rocking it out with some of the guys in there. And I'm just waiting to see if we have a very special guest. Some Cleveland legends. Let's see. I'll be right back. Asi,
Hello, how are you, Brandon?
honor to have the executive director from Spread the Love, working with Mr. Henderson, known as from the infamous group Bone Thugs and Harmony, aka Crazy Bone, but we call him Mr. Henderson. And this is executive director of Spread the Love, Asi. I would love to connect you into a breakout room with some music AI and one of the top guys who started DigiWax, DJ, working with Consequence, and from Conway the Machine to so many others. Would love to just put you right into a breakout room if that is cool with you.
Yeah, sure. Go for it,
Awesome.
man.
Awesome. And then we'll come back for some fireside chat. I'm here with Asi from Spread the Love. Here we go. Give me just 1 second here. Breakout rooms, and see if it'll let me. Participants. See if it'll let me do this here. Okay, here we go. Got it. Boom. Here we
Okay.
go. 3, 2, 1. You should head right in, and I'm going to meet you right there.
Oh, again.
Early birds.
I don't know what that buffer is that after the clock runs out, you know?
Yeah, sometimes it gives you an extra 60 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess it didn't for us. That's cool.
Don't know, yeah.
It's like we never left.
So Andrew, that last part you said about, you know, podcasters, and even I'm thinking about comedians that do podcasts and how they're going to go on the road, or they might be anticipating, you know, going on the road, doing like what you're talking about, and having the fans have the ability to, you know, purchase something early on, even thinking about having front row seats for, say, the first people in like the first 20 minutes of a podcast, and say a live podcast at that. So I think that really is going to reward, the ones that are paying attention and those that are always supporting, you know.
Yeah, and you can always, you know, lock or open whoever gets to come up and ask a question on stage, right? So maybe those early people get to come up and engage with whoever's hosting, and everyone else just gets to listen, you know.
Yeah, that's super innovative. I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Beautiful, y'all. Well, it looks like everybody's coming back from the breakout sessions.
We were on a cliffhanger where Vershawn said he asked the AI to help him straighten out his brain, and then he was just telling us how it was going to straighten out his brain, and then it stopped. Vershawn, so what's the answer? What did the AI say to you?
All right. So what I was saying is something I've been doing recently with the AI, specifically with Chat GPT, but I'm sure you could do it with any of the conversational ones. You can ask it to ask you questions. And for me specifically, I asked it to help me clarify my brand's mission. So I said, can you ask me questions to help me clarify my brand's purpose? Hit enter, and it will give you, 8 questions or 10 questions that I then answered one by one, speaking, and then it will condense everything that I said into something much more cohesive. So I just thought, that was pretty transformational for me, and really helped me set a direction for where I wanted to take things in the future. So definitely just wanted to throw that out into the breakout room and now into the main room. So test it out, and hopefully it works well for you.
That was awesome. I am definitely going to test that one out. That was great.
I actually use mine kind of in a similar way. I actually kind of Frankenstein it. When I talk to chat, I'm like, hey, using the information I have provided here, write out a document, and then don't disclose like the names or anything, but have them use the information and then compare the two, and then Frankenstein my documents together to see, and then like format it the way I want to, and then consolidate it all. And it's been awesome. It's been like writing different forms and other things as well for me. It's super convenient.
That's great.
Amazing. Well, you guys, you have heard from Joe Van Jerry from Digitrax, heard from Andrew Schiffman, Legend.io, paving the way in the music business with partnerships at Warner and Polygon. Nick Caceres, honored to have you with Step 3. Nick, if you wouldn't mind real quick, would you share a little bit, we're gearing up for Consensus, and just, you're a key part of the Austin, Texas community. Would you mind sharing a little bit about Step 3 and what's happening also in Austin, Texas from a music tech, emerging tech scene that's developing there?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks for the opportunity. Hi, everyone. My name is Nick. I'm based in Austin. And as Brandon David was saying, I'm part of the ATX DAO. And the ATX DAO is a local Web3 community for Austin. And we're dedicated to raising the awareness of crypto and Web3 in the Austin community. But what we're doing is basically connecting people through social events and then introducing them to these ideas and these concepts in a way that is friendly and not threatening through education, et cetera. So that's, it's a passion project for me. I'm part of that crew. It's a great organization. On the Step 3 side, what we're building is a platform that helps creators connect with their audiences very easily using sort of no code tools that they can then start building out really dynamic membership programs and ways to connect with audiences and build engagement in new ways. So we really think there's a future where NFTs drive a lot more interaction than just pictures on OpenSea, and we're really bullish about where this all goes. So happy to connect with anybody here. Would love to share ideas. You know, I've got fairly deep experience in the industry, so if there's anything that I can help with in terms of Web3 or technology, I'm always here to help and lend an ear.
That's great. Thank you.
Awesome, Nick. Yeah, we,
Where,
you know,
where is Nick based out of? Is it Austin? I missed
Yep,
that. I'm sorry.
Austin,
I'm
Texas.
in Austin. Yes.
You know, Nick helped bringing together a crew as I was getting more rooted in Austin, Texas, just really helped open up some doors, really cool meetup. And, you know, so ATX DAO has a really cool event happening during Consensus, but also I posted a link to babs.io is helping throw WebShe, celebrating women and diversity in emerging tech. You know, Matt Matlack, shout out what you experienced at WebShe in NYC.
Matt had to hop off.
Oh, actually, he had yeah. So I will. Well, from Keith Richards' daughter, Alexandra Richards, DJing, awesome panel discussions. We had a cool crew, and we're getting ready to do it again. So if anybody needs a last minute sponsorship, connector package, anything like that, we can help really concierge you at some of these events, help bring your connections together. And I'll talk a little bit more about that off the air or on a Calendly. If somebody wants to jump on a quick Calendly and you would like to have a presence during ATX, we're glad to help make sure your marketing dollars and business development dollars get allocated to maximize results and build rich relationships. With that being said, y'all, we're going to go off the air. It's been an amazing conversation. We're going to break it down for anybody who has to leave. Go get some dinner, take care of yourself, spend some time with family, get some good rest. We thank you all for tuning in. We're going to stick around for a few minutes on some fireside chat networking to close it out. I see B-Web still in the house, so we might have some collaboration happening, y'all. I'm Brandon David, Music Tech Connect. We have a social capital cohort coming up in May. So if you need some focus, you need some strategic relationships as you're raising or as you're bringing your stuff together, we'd love to see if there's a fit. Reach out to me. I'll put my Calendly in the link. We have a few spots.
When is that? When is that and where?
That's starting in May. So Joe, we'll have to have that conversation. Would love anybody still interested. We got about 5 to 7 spots to still fill on that. And love to see if there's a win-win-win across the board. Win for you, win for us, and a win for the community. With that being said, special shout out and thank you to Digi Wax and Digi Tracks, CL, Joe Van Jerry, and then Andrew Schiffman and all the crew, Matt Matlack being such a great host in the breakout rooms as well. All our new special guests, new friends across the globe. We're going off the air. So if you wanted to be on the fireside, you had to be in the fire here on the Zoom call. God bless, much success. Keep it moving.